Welcome back to another episode of Midlife with Courage. I'm Kim Benoit, your host. Today I have a beautiful guest. Her name is Jenny. Welcome to the podcast, Jenny.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Wonderful. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where in the world are you, what you do.
I am Jenny Harkleroad. I am in beautiful San Diego, California. I am the mother of four grown children, been married about 30 years, and I am an advanced mindset coach. I help people with their thinking because when they're thinking in a good way, they feel good. And so I love helping people to clarify what they want different in their life and turn their life into just that thing.
Love it. I love this topic, using your mind to kind of change yourself or change things. And we want to get into that, of course. But first, why don't you tell us if there was a time in your life when you felt courageous or you showed courage?
Yeah, for sure. So, sometimes they say that you get like a little whisper and then you get like a louder message and the message keeps getting louder. Well, without ruining my story, which we'll get into, I got a really loud message which was making me change careers. And the thing was, I was at the very top of my career and I knew that everybody was going to think I was crazy for leaving what I had worked so hard to build. And I remember standing at a award ceremony with literally, they were putting medals around my neck, knowing that next week I'm about to say, peace out.
Oh, wow.
And that took a lot of courage to give up the money, the notoriety, all the things to follow my heart. So that's what I think of when I think of courage.
Awesome. I think that's very courageous. Yes. And we're going to get into that story. So why don't we just go there? Tell us about your past, about that being in the top of your industry and what you were doing and what changed. What made you decide that you were done?
Yeah, great question. So, the industry was real estate. I was here in San Diego real estate and it was fantastic. I got in at just the right time. That was a luck or a blessing or some combination. And the market was just going crazy. And I thought, gosh, why doesn't everybody sell real estate? This is so easy. Of course, that didn't last and the market crashed and all of that. But I was able to build something that was really successful even after the market crash. And what happened though was I kind of fell into real estate. I fell into it by my husband saying, "Hey, you should get a license so we can buy some investment properties and be kind of like the first to know about deals." Because that was, back before the internet when we all had access to information. So that's why I got a license. But then just because of my go-getter personality, it just kind of went crazy and I couldn't
Sure.
keep my mouth shut telling everybody what I did. So of course that brought me business. And then I just kind of got swept up in the success of it. We had multiple homes and all these, Disney vacations and all. I mean, it was just like it was abundant. And then I started thinking, I don't even actually like, I don't feel passionate about this. I don't feel excited about this. I mean, I like helping people and it's a good industry and obviously it's very profitable for me, but like I don't wake up excited about it. And do I want to like spend all day every day doing something that I'm not passionate about? And then I would just kind of give myself this little like check, like, what are you talking about? Just like shut up and get to work. Like, look at your checkbook. I mean, come on, stop complaining, you know? And like, what else are you gonna do? Like, I got married young and never finished college. I've got all these little kids, four kids at the time they were young. And what are you gonna do and make this kind of money with no degree and no training and, just keep doing it. And then, I would kind of get back to that daydream about, but what if there was something I was passionate about, And I was like, shut up, stop. Like, just do this. It's working. So I had this internal battle going on. The other thing was I struggled with chronic pain for most of my life. I remember from elementary school, always being in the nurse's office. I remember being put on prescription pain pills when I was 12 years old. When I was 20 years old, I tried to get life insurance and they wouldn't give it to me because they said, according to the blood test and liver failure. And I thought, okay, maybe I can't take 30 ibuprofen a day. Like
Oh
maybe,
dear.
uh-huh, yeah. I mean, so I was always struggling with pain, but kind of like the job thing, I would just kind of try to ignore it because I didn't know what to do about it. Like I tried to fix it and it just like was always there. And so I, again, just suppressing and like, go make money. You can do that. You know, put on a happy face, fake it till you make it, say your affirmations, which I was, doing. And like, I didn't know what else to do. So I had this chronic pain thing, not really happy in my career. I told you I married my husband at 18. 18, did I say that? 18
You
years
said
old.
young. I didn't realize 18. That is young.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was super fun for a year or two until it wasn't. But I had this belief that I needed to look good, right? And so what looks good? I married my high school sweetheart and we're so happy. That looks good. I didn't want to tell anybody that I was like, I'm not sure I want to do this. Like I was trying to put on this show, really.
Sure.
And now it was fast forward 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, right? And I'm like, not happy with the job, not happy in the marriage. My body's hurting. And I'm like, what do I do with all this? How do I fix it? Because trust me, I've been trying, you know, but whatever I did, I would think, this book is the solution. It told me all the answers. And then I would try to apply it, let's say, into my marriage communication. I'd be like, oh, perfect. We're going to get along great now. All these techniques. And then, 10 minutes later, we'd be fighting. And I'd be like, what happened?
Oh no.
Answer. So I was just kind of, in a place like that. But again, I would suppress it and go make money because I was good at that. And then one day, August 10th of 2013, I was standing on a mountain ledge with my husband. We were hiking with friends and family. And he said, if I was young and in shape, I'd jump off of here instead of climbing down. And I looked down, well, it's not that far. And I jumped.
Oh no.
Yeah. And when I landed, I heard a crunch in my back and I couldn't move. Yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
he climbed down and tried to get me up and he couldn't. Our friends tried, they couldn't. They ended up calling 911, 911 sent in a ground crew. Took them like 45 minutes to get to me, which was a long wait. And when
Yeah.
they got to me, they couldn't get me either. And so they ended up calling Life Flight. And so here comes a helicopter. They zip lined me to a hovering helicopter, pulled me up, took me to the hospital. And the next thing I remember waking up, them saying, you broke your back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now I had to listen.
Yeah,
The
you were forced
was no
to.
longer subtle.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, you must have been in the hospital for a while and
Yeah, and the great thing was, thankfully, I wasn't paralyzed. I was just broken. And they said, it's a broken bone, like any broken bone, it'll heal. So you're going
sure,
to be down for probably 6 weeks, and then you're going to start to get your mobility back, and then you'll be fine. And to me, this go-getter personality, not only was I this top producing realtor, of course, I was running the women's organization of my church and fundraising in my community and, doing all the things.
sure.
So, like in bed for 6 weeks, I mean, that just sounded like,
That does not compute with you.
what? I mean, I remember this one day, my husband says, oh, hun, don't sit on the couch. Something spilled on it. And I go, sit on the couch. I don't think I've ever sat on our couch before. You don't have to worry about me sitting on the couch. And sure, I'll clean that up, whatever the kids' sticky stuff got on the couch.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, gosh, I laid there in bed just thinking, this is bad, like, yes, I want to get back to my life, but do I? Like, I don't like how my life is, and I don't know how to fix it. Everything I've tried, all the books I read and the to date myself tapes I listen to and seminars I went to and, therapists I saw, like, it just kind of goes back to the same old place. And I don't know what to do to be happy. What's
Yeah.
missing? Like, I even have a good religious foundation. Like, what's missing? I don't know what's missing. Something's wrong. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
So I laid there thinking about it. And I thought, I need to fix my back, but I also need to fix my life. And I want to find a solution. And so I started to get better. And as my mobility came back, my pain started increasing. And so as time went on, my pain was getting worse and worse, even though I was getting more mobile. So a year after breaking my back, I started taking the pain pills they gave me in the hospital when I first broke my back that I'd never taken because it didn't hurt that bad at first. I just couldn't move.
Mhm.
And I was seeing, chiropractor and physical therapy and acupuncture and all the things. And the pain just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And so I was thinking there must be something structurally wrong, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm doing all the things and it's getting worse. So 2 years after breaking my back, I convinced surgeons to fuse my back. So they went in and they put rods, screws, synthetic disc, send me home, stitched up, gross, right? Back brace, walker.
Sure.
7 months later, same pain. Can't sit, can't drive,
Oh,
can't function. And they're like, sorry.
no idea.
Yeah, we don't know.
Wow.
Like, it doesn't seem like it should be hurting. Like, it looks fine in the imaging now.
Huh.
Yeah. And they're like, you're just going to have to live with it. And I was
Oh,
like, you don't
how
understand.
frustrating.
This is the go-getter girl you're talking to. I cannot live like this. I can't,
Yeah,
there has to be a way.
sure.
So I just started asking people, hey, what have you done for back pain? What have you done for back pain? Like looking for things I hadn't yet tried.
Mhm.
And my massage therapist referred me to another chiropractor who referred me to a medical doctor who changed my life. This medical doctor, Dr. Warren Jacobs, MD, lived about a mile from me. And I
Huh.
called him up and he answered his phone, which I was like, that's weird.
That never happens.
And then I'm like, can I see you? And he said, sure, come over. And I'm like, what? Come over where? To my house? What?
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Right now? Yeah. Okay. So I go over to his house, and to make a long story a little bit shorter, he basically tells me that I can heal myself with my mind. And I'm
Oh,
like, what? What kind of a doctor did you say you are? Medical doctor? This is strange. I'm in your house and you're telling me I can heal myself with my mind. Okay, whatever. Let's try your woo woo voodoo, whatever it is, because I'm desperate.
sure.
Again, to make a long story short, 6 sessions later, I am doing handstands and back bends completely healed.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Wow.
I know. I
How did
mean,
that happen?
exactly my question. That was my question. But my second question was, can you help me get off pain pills? Can you fix my marriage? Can you help me get rid of my bad temper? Can you help me lose weight? Can you help me get rid of my allergies and my motion sickness? Can you help me find a career I love?
Oh my goodness.
I brought him the laundry list. And he's like, of course, you can do anything with the power of your mind. And we did,
Wow.
literally. And that's why I walked away from real estate because I decided I wanted to help people do what he helped me do, totally transform their life in a short amount of time.
Wow.
And what we discovered, there's so much. Again, I'm trying to condense it, but
Sure.
one of the things that we discovered it for me was that the tension in my mind was causing tension in my body. And the reason my body was hurting was from the tension in my body, not from the injury.
Oh.
Yeah,
So that's why it kept coming back.
in all sorts of forms through my whole life. Because every time things weren't going well, and I didn't even tell you this part, my mother used to say that I was born an adult. And the reason is because she would tell me it's time to take a nap. And I'd say, I don't want to take a nap. And she'd be like, I don't care. It's nap time. And I'd be like, I don't care that you don't care. I'm not taking a nap. Right? When I was 2, I asked if I could move out. I was like, this lady thinks she's the boss of me.
Gosh.
I don't understand what is wrong with this lady.
Oh my goodness.
This is what I was thinking. Okay. So
Sure.
all that tension from mom and I, pain in my body my whole life.
Wow.
So that's what one of the major things I discovered with this doctor was tension in the mind causes tension in the body. And it might be obvious, like, something happened and that's causing tension, but a lot of it's subconscious, it's below the surface.
Mhm.
I wasn't thinking of my childhood when my back was hurting.
No.
But all these things compounding throughout my life were causing this tension in my body. Not to mention this personality of mine where I have to be like top achiever always,
Yeah.
so like this internal pressure, on myself.
Oh my
So
gosh.
fascinating, right?
It is fascinating. And I've heard that our mind, stores things up. And if we don't deal with it, it'll come out physically.
Right.
And then you have to deal with it because
Right.
it gets to a point like you debilitating pain. And
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And pain is an epidemic in the world. There's more money spent on chronic pain right now than diabetes, heart disease, and cancer combined.
Mhm. I did not know
There's
that.
so much pressure and stress and worry and fear,
Yeah.
and we internalize it, and then our body hurts. But we're so trained in the Western medical model where if something hurts, my knee hurts, well, something's wrong with my knee. Maybe it is, or maybe it's something you're worrying about in your mind. And then your mind goes, oh, let's distract you. How about we cause some ischemia, lack of blood supply to your knee, so you can focus on your knee instead of worrying about your daughter
Ah, yeah.
eating.
It
That,
is because your brain tries to protect you as much as
absolutely.
possible, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So you have basically had your life changed by this doctor, and you decided you wanted to do it yourself and help other people. How
Right.
did you go about that?
Yeah. Well, first I studied with him.
Uh,
And then I studied a lot of other modalities of subconscious change. What I realized was that's what I was missing all this time when I was trying to change is I was consciously trying to change, but we're run by our subconscious programming. And our subconscious programming is a million times more powerful than our conscious mind. This is why somebody's like, okay, I want to lose weight. So starting Monday, I'm going to eat right. I'm going to exercise. I'm committed this time. Like I mean it. And then by Wednesday, they've fallen off the bandwagon. And you're like, what happened? I thought you were dieting. They're like, I know. I thought I was too. Right.
yeah.
But their subconscious program got in the way. They consciously wanted something, but their subconscious always overpowers. And so it's like this battle of focus, right? It's
Mhm.
almost like you can explain the same thing when you're dating. Like you try so hard to make everything perfect that it is. And then as soon as you get married and you stop trying and you start functioning out of your subconscious program, guess what? It's not as fairy tale like.
Right.
Trying, right? You're trying to take care of the kids and pay the bills and, all the things, and your focus is just elsewhere.
Interesting. So do you think it's because your subconscious knows it's going to be more difficult, so you just keep that in the background? I'm trying to understand how that happens.
Yeah, why it's like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason is just our subconscious. I used to think it just grew my hair and would make my heart beat and digest my food and all the automated process of my body. But when I started to study the subconscious mind, it's the lens through which we see the world. It's our perception, right? So I'll give you this example. I went to the eye doctor the other day and I walk in and I look to my left and like probably the youngest person in the waiting room is 85. And I'm thinking,
Oh no.
that's weird. And then I look to my right and there's a cartoon playing on the TV. And I'm standing there at the front desk. I've never been there before. And I go, like, I feel like I was kind of thinking out loud. Like, I was like, that's an interesting choice of entertainment for this audience.
Yeah.
Well, there's two ladies sitting there. The one lady goes, well, we don't have time to try to make sure that what's on the TV matches who's sitting in the waiting room. Like she was kind of offended by what I said. And then the lady next to her said, "Don't you love that cartoon? It's my favorite." Right? So I'm like, well, first off, I can't even believe I just said that out loud because I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to say when you walk up to a
Yeah.
counter. Anyhow, but the one girl got a little bit offended by it, while the other girl was like, "I love that cartoon."
Yeah.
You know? Neither of them thought, how do I want to respond to this lady and what she just said? They just responded.
Sure.
That's our subconscious. We just respond.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they say count to 10 before you respond, so you can catch your natural response and choose how you want to respond. But what I say is, how about you change your natural response? How about you program yourself to respond in a way you would want to respond? So when your husband says something that normally would have made me crazy, instead I think automatically, oh, I wonder why he said that. Instead of, how dare you say that?
Yeah, that changes it totally, doesn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. So when you repattern the subconscious to be who and how you want to be, it feels like a new life.
Yeah.
It's like a new lens. I see clearly now. In a good,
Oh,
yeah. I'm not faking it till I make it. I'm being who and how I want to be automatically.
yeah.
So powerful.
Very powerful. And I'm sure you can't go into all the ways of how you accomplish this, but how do you accomplish this?
Yes.
Just maybe in short
Okay.
bites, maybe.
Yes, yes. Okay. 17-second rule. It goes like this. A thought is an electrical signal in the brain for 17 seconds or less. But if it goes on for longer than that, it becomes a chemical reaction within your body. So you start to feel equal to the way you're thinking. So however you feel is based on how you're thinking. Okay. It only takes 17 seconds. So
Ah,
if you want to change how you're feeling, you have to change how you're thinking. Here's the problem. Psychologists say we have 50,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. 80% of them are negative and 90% are a repeat of yesterday, which is why today feels like the day before and the day before, and why we think the same thing, say the same things, experience life the same way.
sure.
We are who we are. We get into these habits and patterns.
Mhm.
And so the first thing to do is just catch yourself. What am I thinking? And the story that you're telling yourself, guess what? It's just a story. It's just your perception, right? Like those
Mhm.
two ladies, they had a different perception of my comment.
Right.
One focused on like kind of almost like I was personally attacking her for the TV choice, where the other was like, I love that show. Different filter.
Yeah.
I would say different childhood, different level of confidence.
Mhm.
Right? It's like if you're wounded and someone puts salt on it, ow! But if you're
Right.
not wounded and someone puts salt on it, don't notice,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so 17 seconds is you catch yourself and you go, this story I'm telling, this narration of my life, do I like it? And if not, what would I rather think or be or do or have or feel? So it's really clarifying what you want different in your life, catching yourself and clarifying. If you're like, my kids are so messy, I can't believe they never pick up their stuff. Well, if you believe that, that's literally after those 17 seconds. If that thought goes on for more than 17 seconds, it attracts like thoughts to prove to you why what you're thinking is true. Remember the time they did this, and then this, and
Uh,
then that, and then that, and you're like, yes, sold. Like, I
yes.
believe my story. I have all the evidence. That goes on for just 68 seconds. It literally changes your energy field. Your energy field is responsible for what you attract and what you manifest in your life. So you think your kids are slobs and don't care and don't appreciate you and all the things. That is the energy you're sending out, and they respond to it by giving you what you expect. Not
Wow.
consciously, they have no idea consciously.
Right.
As soon as you change that belief within yourself, which we'll talk about how to do that, all of a sudden, I had this client one time and she wanted to feel appreciated. So we did this brain exercise. That's what I do, brain exercises to get your brain to believe in a different way. And the next week she comes back and I'm like, okay, so how's it going? And she's like, is this a joke? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, every person I talk to is telling me how much they appreciate me. Did you call everybody? And I'm like, I don't know who your everybody is. Like, no.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Literally, we change that part of our brain, the reticular activating system, to look for appreciation, to expect appreciation, to pull in appreciation instead of the opposite. And so when that energy shifted, all of a sudden it was like a magnet.
Like
You know,
hitting your
have you ever done the magnet like one way it's so easy and the other way it like won't go together,
sure.
right? So she just flipped her magnet. All of a sudden everybody's appreciating her and she's thinking this is a joke. Like this be real, you know? That's
Wow.
the power of the subconscious mind. So catch your thought, change your thought, and then the next thing we do a brain exercise to literally change it. Because again, you have so many thoughts, and just because you tell yourself, oh, I don't believe that, or maybe that story is not true, or maybe I should act or feel or think a different way, you are who you are. You think how you think. Just because you read a book on communication doesn't mean you're a great communicator immediately after you read it. How do you
Right.
get it into your cellular response? How does it become you? That's through a brain exercise. So we do a brain exercise to repattern the brain and then we take action. How do you create this new life? How do you be happier? What makes you happy? Do you like to garden? Do you like to go for walks on the beach? Do you like to serve others? Like what can you do now that you've clarified what you want? Your brain is programmed for it. Now go take action. That's the process we go through.
That is awesome. I can imagine it would take some time, but maybe it doesn't. That one lady came back the next week and it
It's
happened
really
fast.
fast. So our private clients report a 57% improvement within 1 week after one
Wow.
session. We
Wow.
have an app, and our app users report a 41% improvement after one use of our app.
Wow. So let's talk, tell us about the app. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
So what I wanted to do was to make my work more accessible for anyone, anytime, worldwide. I remember when I was having trouble and I would want to go see Dr. Warren and he wouldn't be available and I'd be crying. I'm like, I need a solution now, right? So, and I'd have to pay for it, you know? So I
Sure.
wanted something, a way to help people. So I created this app. And when I say I hired tech people. I'm not. Don't have that skill set
It's still
yet.
pretty impressive.
So this app, it's like having an interactive session with me. The app is called Leap Transformation. It's in the App Store and it's in the Play Store. It's a week free trial, and it's only $14.99 a month, so super accessible. And when you log in, it's asking you, do you want to feel different? Do you want to solve a problem? Do you want to achieve a goal? Do you want to work on personal growth? Do you have no idea and you just need an idea for the day? We'll give you that too. And then you clarify what you want. So maybe it's happiness, maybe it's health, maybe it's an improved relationship, maybe it's a more money in your bank account. Whatever it is, your mind controls your life. Your life is a printout of your subconscious program. Where your life is easy, you have a program that supports you. Where life is hard, you do not have a subconscious program that supports you. And so, what this app does is it creates those subconscious programs to support you in life in the places that you're struggling to feel support from your own self in, right? Where you feel like you're sabotaging yourself. I'll give you another example. I was on a cruise, maybe one of my first cruises. And through the week, I noticed my pants started getting really tight, and I didn't understand why because I hadn't been putting them in the dryer. Off the cruise, I realized I gained 10 pounds on the cruise. Like, it was a good
Oh,
cruise.
wow.
So the next cruise, I said, Okay, this time, no ice cream for me. No ice cream, period. Like, that's my only rule, no ice cream. I don't know if I've ever been through something so difficult in my life trying not to eat ice cream when there's ice cream machines everywhere. My kids are like licking it in my face.
Oh no.
So bad. But I did it. Okay. So then I learned this work and I program my mind to only want to eat healthy food. Why? Because it's healthy. And when you only eat healthy food, guess what? You look pretty good too. Right? So
Mhm.
I wanted that. I didn't want to struggle with my weight anymore. So I programmed myself for that. We go on another cruise. We get off and I go to my husband, "Did they have ice cream on this cruise?" And he's like, "Ha ha." I go, "No, for real." And he's like, "Yeah, it was everywhere, just like always." I'm like, I didn't even notice it. I didn't even see it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's the power of the subconscious, right?
Yeah.
You can overpower anything with your conscious mind when you keep focus on it. But the
Oh my
problem is
gosh.
you lose focus and because you have to get stuff done, you
Mhm.
forget, I'm trying
Mhm.
to do this, right?
Yeah.
You slide back to your subconscious. So the app programs your subconscious mind through brain exercises. It helps you set action plans, track your progress, earn rewards. It's super fun. You can cash in the coins you earn to come to my live Tuesday group session. So it's like a big brain
Oh,
exercise class. We all change our brains together. It's super fun.
my
And
gosh.
I just love to have a solution,
Yeah.
because it's literally a solution for anything. I haven't come across anything yet that it hasn't been a solution for us because our mind controls our body and it controls our perception, how we see the world.
Yeah.
So it's so powerful, and I love that I can get it out there in an app so anyone can use it
Yeah.
anytime, not
It,
feeling good, pull it out and fix yourself.
yeah. It's right there on your phone, like everything
Yeah,
else.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
fascinating. And I feel
Yeah,
like we're just like touching the surface of what we can do with our brain and our minds.
yeah,
And this is one way of really digging down in there. That's
yeah.
amazing. Fascinating. Oh my gosh. So if someone is interested, besides getting the app, you say you work with people as well. Is that something you do in person or online or both?
We do on Zoom. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
Zoom world nowadays.
It is.
I'm on Zoom quite often. So yeah, if people
Yeah.
go to my website, balancedyou.org, they can learn about private sessions and all the different things that I offer.
Okay. Awesome. We will put that in the show notes for people to find.
Awesome.
But Jenny, I feel like there's so much more to this that we could talk about. We could probably talk about this all day, but I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that you're very passionate. So I'm guessing you found your passion in doing this work.
Yes, absolutely. How can you not when something changes your life so drastically? I wasn't happy, I wasn't healthy, I wasn't how I wanted to be, and I tried everything, and I just kind of like, I guess this is just how I am because I can't seem to
Yeah.
change myself. And then I found like it felt like a magic wand. I mean,
Yeah,
literally,
it
like
does. It sounds like magic.
a magic wand. I mean, that's the power of the subconscious. And so for the past 8 years, I've just been telling everybody. I mean, I'm 48. These 8 years have been the best years of my life. I mean, just amazing because if anything doesn't go how I want it, I can immediately switch it, switch how I see it, switch how I perceive it, switch how I think about it.
Yeah.
It's just been amazing. So I just can't wait
Oh,
for 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s because I have a magic wand.
yes. I just love that. It's so very cool, especially now at this point in our country and the things happening and many people aren't happy and you can change how you look at things and react and
Yes,
respond. So wonderful.
absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, before we say goodbye, is there any one last little message or information you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, I just want people to be hopeful that if they've been trying to feel better or think better or do something different in their life, that they can, that there's a solution. The doctors told me like, sorry, there's nothing else you can do. You got to live like this. If somebody tells you that, don't believe it. It's not true. There's always a solution. So go out there and find your solution and make it your best life.
Love it. Thank you so much. Just, yes, don't listen to that message.
No.
Wonderful. All right, Jenny. Well, thank you so much. We will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks.